Thursday morning. A federal agent knocks on an apartment door, 24 years old, about to be arrested for running a fraud network that pulled close to $500,000 out of companies that never saw it coming. This is where it starts. 6 months earlier, none of that exists yet. What exists is the math. Not homeless broke, not dangerous broke. Just the kind where your bank account hits $47 on the 28th, and payday is the first. You're working a call center job at $12 an hour, 40 hours a week, $19.20 before taxes, $15.60 after. Rent takes $8.50. Car insurance, $140. Phone, $60. Gas to the call center, about $200 a month. And it tells you one thing: you can survive. One day you see a video. Some guy on TikTok with a blurred face explaining something simple. You order something from Amazon, claim the box arrived empty, get your money back, keep the item. He makes it sound like the company loses $89 and doesn't even notice. You know it's wrong. You spend a week thinking about whether it works, not whether it's right. You think about $89. That's almost a full day of work after taxes. One phone call versus 8 hours in a headset. The math makes sense. So you try it. A Bluetooth speaker, $64. It arrives Tuesday. You wait 3 days like the video said. Friday afternoon, you open the chat and type that the package arrived damaged and the item was missing. The agent apologizes. The agent processes the refund. The speaker is on your desk. The refund is in your account. The whole thing took 11 minutes. You got paid to receive a free speaker. You do it again 2 weeks later. A phone case. Then a portable charger, then running shoes. Each time you wait at least 2 weeks. Each time you use a different excuse. Box was empty, item was damaged, wrong item received, package never arrived. You rotate them like a poker player rotates tells. By month 3, you've made $680 in free items. Some you keep, some you sell on Facebook Marketplace. That's almost half a month's rent just from typing sentences into a chat box. But here's the thing, nobody tells you about scaling something like this. There's always a ceiling. At month 4, Amazon flags your account. Not a ban. A warning. Future refund requests may require returning the item. That word "may" is doing heavy lifting, but you can feel the algorithm watching. One account, one address, one name. The pattern is too clean. The ceiling just got lower. You need more accounts. You need more addresses. You need more names. And that's when you meet Dre. Dre is 23, and she's been doing this longer but different. She doesn't use her own accounts. She buys aged Amazon accounts online. Accounts that are 3, 4, 5 years old with purchase history and verified addresses and Prime memberships. They look like real people because they were real people. Someone sold their login for $50 and forgot about it. $50 for an account that can process thousands in refunds before anyone notices. The economics are insane. Dre teaches you the system. You buy 5 accounts at $50 each. That's $250 total. Each account gets 1 month of claims. 3 to 4 claims per account. Average claim value between $100 and $300. Conservative math says $800 per account per month. 5 accounts means $4,000 a month. Minus the $250 for accounts, you're clearing $37.50 from your apartment in your underwear while the call center pays you $12 an hour to apologize to strangers. You quit at month 2. You tell your mom you got a remote customer service job. She's proud. Remote work. Her son figured it out. You let her be proud because the truth would unproud her in a way that doesn't come back. The addresses are the key. You can't ship everything to your apartment. 5 different accounts all going to one address triggers even a basic algorithm. So you use drop addresses. Apartment complexes where nobody checks IDs. Amazon lockers at gas stations. Friends' apartments for a $20 cut per package. Dre has a list of 37 drop addresses across the city, and she shares it with you. That list is worth more than everything else she taught you combined. By month 4, you're processing $12,000 a month across 8 accounts and 19 drop addresses. You keep about 30% of the items. The rest goes to Marketplace, eBay, and a guy named Terrence who buys electronics in bulk at 40 cents on the dollar and doesn't ask questions. Your take after expenses is about $9,000 a month. $9,000. The call center paid you $19.20 before taxes. You're making almost 5 times that and you haven't put on pants before noon in 3 months. But this is where the story changes. Because there's another level. And it's not about more money. It's about how much you're willing to risk. Dre brings you the next method. The swap. You order a brand new laptop. $1,500. It arrives. You open it. You don't use it. You take it apart. The RAM comes out. The SSD comes out. You replace them with old parts. Cheap parts. Parts from a 5-year-old broken laptop you bought on eBay for $40. You put it back together. You repackage everything perfectly. Original box. Original plastic. Original foam. Original tape. You return it as defective. Won't boot properly. The return gets processed. Full refund. $1,500 back in your account. The laptop goes back to the warehouse and gets resold, and nobody checks the internal components because nobody opens a sealed return to verify serial numbers. You just kept a $500 SSD and a $200 RAM kit for the cost of a $40 broken laptop. You sell the parts on eBay. $700 plus the full refund. $2,200 from one order. Dre learned this from a Reddit thread at 3 in the morning and turned it into a system. She orders gaming PCs and swaps the graphics cards. A $3,500 PC comes with a $1,200 GPU. She replaces it with a $200 card from 3 generations ago. Returns the PC, keeps the GPU. The return gets processed because the PC still turns on. It just doesn't run games the way it should. By the time the next customer figures that out, the return window is closed. But the real money is DNA. Did not arrive. You order high-value items. Laptops, cameras, gaming consoles. $600 to $1,500. The package arrives. You claim it didn't. You say someone must have stolen it from the porch. The carrier investigates. The investigation takes weeks. During the investigation, you get a refund or a replacement. Often both. A $1,500 camera becomes 2 cameras and a refund. $4,500 from one order. The system is designed to side with the customer because the customer is almost always telling the truth. The 1% who aren't telling the truth are exploiting the 99%'s honesty as cover. More money means more hands. More hands means more people who know your name. You tell yourself that's just how it scales. It's also how it ends. You start training runners. Dre recruits them. College kids who need money. You teach them the way Dre taught you. In person. Never on paper. Never in text. A parking lot behind a Wendy's at 11 p.m. You make them repeat the steps. Buy aged accounts. Use drop addresses. Rotate claims. Never the same method twice on the same account. Wait 14 days between claims. Keep values under 1,500. Don't get greedy. Greedy is how patterns form. Patterns are how systems catch you. You watch their faces while you teach them. They look the way you looked 6 months ago. Hungry and scared and doing the math in their heads. The math always wins. Terrence becomes your fence. He runs a booth at a flea market on weekends and an eBay store during the week. He buys anything with a barcode at 40 cents on the dollar and never asks where it came from. Terrence is 53, and he's been buying things from people like you for 20 years. You drop off boxes every Thursday. Terrence counts the items. Terrence pays cash. The transaction takes 4 minutes. You've made more money in those 4 minutes every Thursday than the call center paid you in a week. By month 3 of the network, you're processing $60,000 a month across 22 accounts and 41 drop addresses in 3 cities. Your cut is 40%. $24,000 a month. You moved out of your old apartment into a nicer place. You told your mom you got promoted at the remote job. She bought you a plant for the new apartment. The plant sits on the windowsill of a living room that was paid for with did not arrive claims on items that definitely arrived. You have a rule. You never run a scam on your personal account. Your personal account is clean. Your personal life is clean. The 2 lives don't touch. That's the rule. The rule works until it doesn't. Because here's what nobody tells you about building a network. The bigger it gets, the more visible it becomes. FedEx and UPS have fraud departments. Their fraud departments talk to Amazon's fraud department. Amazon's fraud department has data scientists who do nothing but map refund patterns across accounts and addresses and IP addresses and device fingerprints. A device fingerprint is the unique signature your phone or laptop leaves every time it connects to a website. You can change your name. You can change your address. You can change your account. But your device fingerprint follows you like a shadow you didn't know you had. The data scientists find the shadow. 22 accounts, 41 addresses, 3 cities, 1 device fingerprint linking 7 of the accounts. Yours. The fingerprint traces to an IP address. The IP address traces to your nice new apartment. The apartment you told your mom was from a promotion. Amazon refers the case to the postal inspector. The postal inspector works with local law enforcement. A detective opens a file. The detective is patient. Patient detectives are the ones who finish cases. He doesn't arrest anyone. He watches. He maps every runner, every drop address, every package pickup. He sits in a car outside the Amazon locker on 5th Street and photographs faces. He sits outside Terrence's flea market booth and photographs boxes. He follows Dre to the parking lot behind the Wendy's on a Thursday night and photographs you standing next to your car handing her an envelope. He builds the case for 5 weeks, and the case gets thicker every day. They arrest Dre first. Thursday morning, her apartment. This is the knock from the beginning. Except it's not your door. Dre doesn't panic. Dre calls you from the station. She says they have the accounts. She says they have the addresses. She says they have the device data. She says they know about you. You stand in your kitchen next to the plant your mom bought you and you hold the phone, and the phone feels like it weighs more than every package you ever claimed didn't arrive. The charges are federal. Mail fraud. Wire fraud. Conspiracy. The conspiracy charge is the one that carries weight. Conspiracy means the network. Conspiracy means everyone. Dre is looking at 4 to 6 years unless she cooperates. Dre doesn't cooperate. Her lawyer calls you. Not because he's your lawyer. Because Dre asked him to. She asked him to tell you she's not talking. She's not naming you. She's not naming the runners. She's not giving them the accounts or the addresses or the device trail. She's taking it. All of it. The entire network lands on Dre. You ask the lawyer why. He says she says you know why. You do. Dre built the map. Dre shared the addresses. Dre recruited the runners. Dre taught you everything. And now Dre is holding everything so that you don't have to. She held half the weight when it was money. She's holding all of the weight now that it's years. Dre pleads guilty. Mail fraud and wire fraud. The conspiracy charge gets reduced. She gets 4 years. 4 years in a federal facility. She's 24. She'll be 28 when she gets out. The 4 years she's serving are your 4 years. Every day she's inside is a day you should be inside, and the distance between should be and not is where you live now. You move back to a cheaper apartment. You get a job at a warehouse. $13 an hour loading trucks. $1 more than the call center. The work is physical and honest, and you do it, and you go home and you eat dinner alone, and the dinner is ramen again because 13 an hour is 13 an hour. The math is back to where it started. The math is tight again. Not broke. Tight. The same tight from before, except now the tight has a weight that the old tight didn't have because the old tight was just poverty, and the new tight is poverty, plus knowing that someone else is in a cell because of you. On the first of every month, you put $500 in a plain white envelope and you mail it to Dre's mom's address. No return address. No note. Just cash. 500 is a lot when you make 13 an hour. 500 means you skip things. You skip the way you used to skip before any of this started. But the skipping feels different now because the skipping has a purpose, and the purpose is a white envelope, and the envelope is the only honest thing you do. Dre's mom doesn't know who sends it. Dre knows. Dre doesn't say. The envelope is the only honest thing you do, and it's built on the most dishonest thing that ever happened to you. 500 a month for 48 months is 24,000. 24,000 is roughly what the call center paid you in a year when this started. The math comes back around. The math always comes back around. You drive past an Amazon locker sometimes. The gas station on 5th Street. One of your old drop addresses. The locker is still there. Someone else is probably using it now. Someone else who saw a video with a blurred face and a disguised voice and thought about it for a week and tried it once and felt the glitch and couldn't stop. You hope they stop. You hope the ceiling stays a ceiling. You hope they never meet their Dre because meeting your Dre was the best thing that happened to you and the worst thing that happened to her. And the distance between those two things is 4 years and a white envelope and a debt that math can't calculate.